What we can't say is just because the fight was at such a exhilarating pace and it was so brutal that all of a sudden someone after the fight is exhausted or goes to the hospital like that. That's what happens in fights like that.
Oh man, just didn't come with the right.
Don't worry, bro.
Ain't nobody worried about your bitch ass.
I've been respectful all my life.
Yeah, fuck what y'all talking about.
Breaking news is emerging from the Teofimo Lopez camp. Teofimo Lopez Jr. has reportedly been hospitalized following his fight with Shakur Stevenson, and the situation is now being considered far more serious than a mere loss. Tension is spreading across the boxing world as fans, analysts, and insiders express increasing concern over Lopez Jr.'s condition. The emotional reaction from Teofimo Lopez Sr. has amplified.
Shit.
Would you go to the UK for that? Would you go to the UK for that? Would you go to the UK for that?
I'll go to the UK. I go wherever the fuck. I go to his backyard. You know, screw that motherfucker. You know, but
I mean, it's uncanny. So yeah, I would think. I mean, battered, both battered, exhausted. Like, you know, it was a brutal fight.
The story, drawing attention away from the scorecards and toward his health. The focus is now on the health and safety of his son. In the immediate aftermath of the fight, reports indicated that Lopez Jr. was taken in for medical evaluation. What initially seemed like routine post-fight care quickly escalated into concerns about hospitalization. While exact medical details remain unclear, communications from within the Lopez camp conveyed urgency and alarm rather than reassurance. This is no longer being seen as typical fight.
Serious health conditions. What kind? I don't know. He didn't go into specifics, but I think he posted this video to show the severity, the seriousness of what's
related injuries, but as a situation that could have serious medical implications. When the fight itself is revisited, the concern becomes easier to understand. Teofimo Lopez Jr. absorbed sustained punishment throughout all 12 rounds. Clean shots landed repeatedly, counters came consistently, and the pressure never truly let up. At the time, his willingness to continue was praised as a display of heart and toughness. Now, that's
when he was getting hurt, he kept getting up and he showed heart. You know, it probably would have been easy to stay down and not get your teeth shoved into your fucking...
Same resilience is being scrutinized as prolonged exposure to harm, raising difficult questions about risk and responsibility inside the ring. Performance issues that were initially dismissed are now being reevaluated as potential warning signs. Missed punches, poor timing, and uncharacteristic movement are no longer viewed as just a simple off night. Instead,
despite the outcome, I don't think he looked great in the fight. He was missing and his timing seemed off. He was doing some weird stuff.
Many now believe these were early indicators that something was wrong well before the final bell. In hindsight, the fight seems less competitive and increasingly concerning as the rounds went on. Analysts like Eddie Hearn emphasized Shakur Stevenson's control, balance, and precision rather than chaos or reckless aggression. That distinction is important because it indicates the damage was systematic and cumulative. Stevenson's dominance relied on time.
I think Shakur looked strong. You know, Shakur looked like he was punching very hard. His jab was on point. His footwork was incredible. It's his timing. It's his fitness.
Positioning, and sharp execution, allowing pressure to mount steadily round after round. This type of controlled domination often results in the most serious physical consequences. Shakur Stevenson's post-fight comments now carry added weight. He described the exchanges calmly and clinically, focusing on timing.
Yeah, I definitely did. I feel like he's a fighter, so he tried to fight back. But yeah, I picked him apart. In the second round, I want to say that I told my corner, I said, I'm stronger than he is.
Did you feel like you hurt him at any point in the fight?
Yeah, for sure. I hurt him a couple times. My jab, my left hand to the body, my left hand up top. I put on the...
and contact rather than emotion. In light of the hospitalization reports, Those remarks highlight how consistently Lopez Jr. was being struck and how little respite he was able to find throughout the fight. Several fighters and analysts have since echoed these concerns. Bruce Carrington highlighted Lopez Jr.'s repeated positional mistakes and defensive lapses, noting that he was rarely in a position to counter effectively. Claressa Shields pointed out the visible blood and facial...
Man, he made it easy. You know, I was saying, like, if Teo was to fight more on a back foot and throw punches when Shakur throws, that's the only time you're going to get Shakur. But Teo, he has a habit of getting out of position all the time. He'll double up his right hand, turn square, or turn southpaw. Like, that's not going to work, bro. That's not going to... You're not going to take up enough space to touch Shakur. The Shakur reflexes just... and his countering was just keeping Teo at bay. It was an easy night from round one for him.
Damage during the bout, underscoring the physical severity of the exchanges. Daniel Jacobs observed that Lopez Jr. never seemed to have control of the fight at any point. Perhaps the most troubling observation came from Devin Haney, who noted that Lopez Jr. appeared unfocused even before the fight began. That remark now carries particular significance.
Man, I'm very excited. You know, I said this was another legacy fight for him, and Absolutely. He got a chance to, you know, establish his legacy once again, winning another title at 140 pounds. So I'm very enthusiastic about his future and very proud of his performance.
Significance. Combined with the punishment he absorbed in the ring, it suggests that both his physical and mental readiness may have faltered under pressure, contributing to the dangerous situation that unfolded. Inside the Lopez camp, a growing disconnect has become evident. While some voices sought to highlight legacy, toughness, and championship experience, these narratives clash sharply with reports of hospitalization. This contrast has fueled speculation that warning signs...
I mean, just unbelievable. Unbelievable.
Is that what you expected from Shakur? No?
I mean, listen, I expected an incredible performance, but I didn't expect it to be completely one-sided. I mean, he won every round, in my opinion. Like, the golfing levels was phenomenal. And I said to Bud, like, going into 12, he could do 40 rounds, Shakur. Like, never out of control, footwork, timing, shot selection. I actually think he could have stopped Teofimo.
Signs may have been ignored or downplayed. Teofimo Lopez Sr.'s public anger and distress now seem to stem from genuine fear rather than a reaction to defeat. The narrative surrounding this fight has completely shifted. What was once seen as a technical loss is now being framed as a physically punishing ordeal with real consequences. The boxing community is being...
Teofimo is my guy, but I've always been a fan of Shakur. And I think that Shakur put on a clinic tonight. Least amount of risk. Been able to put his skill set into fruition all night. The jab was leading. You can tell the difference in skill set, and that was the difference to me that made the fight. It wasn't about grit, it wasn't about heart, it was about sheer talent. And Shakur displayed that tonight.
Being compelled to face an uncomfortable reality. When skill gaps are significant at the elite level, danger escalates quickly, and bravery alone cannot shield a fighter from harm. When a fight enters the realm of medical concern, silence is no longer an option. The boxing world must now determine whether lessons will be learned from this moment or if history will repeat itself. The question now turns to the audience.
Shakur looked phenomenal, you know, dominant performance. Just so, what do you think about that?
Man, he made it easy. You know, I was saying, like, if Teo was to fight more on a back foot and throw punches when Shakur throws, that's the only time you're going to get Shakur. But Teo, he has a habit of getting out of position all the time. He'll double up his right hand, turn square, or turn southpaw. Like, that's not going to work, bro. That's not going to, you're not going to take up enough space to touch Shakur. The Shakur reflexes just, and his countering was just keeping Teo at bay. It was an easy night from round one for him. Shakur got...
Was this a display of heart and toughness, or a dangerous failure to protect a fighter? Share your thoughts in the comments and join the discussion on fighter safety in modern boxing. If you enjoyed today's boxing action, don't forget to like and subscribe to our YouTube channel, turn on the notification bell, and watch the full video to support us. Thanks for watching. We'll see you in the next boxing update.